Hi, everybody. Welcome to Magic Universe. Welcome to another message from Universe. And the message for today is vibrating at this orange color. I'm feeling a very peaceful vibe. So I feel like this is going to be a really good message. And welcome, everybody. Let's start with the Oracle of the Mystical Moments. Message from Universe. You're telling me two cards from this first deck. Okay. Moon dance. Fun, fun, fun. Moon dance. Oh, sunny day. So perfect. In this moon dance, I'm seeing a lot of creativity, lightheartedness, joining other people. You see this girl and these little birds that are grouped together, joining other people with your fun and creativity, adding new ideas to maybe ideas that are already formed to create like a whole other thing together. Having fun out in the city, kind of dancing in the moonlight, that kind of like a magical, just really, really lots of fun and creativity. That's what I'm seeing from here. And Oh Sunny Day talks about happiness, talks about seeing the bright side of things, kind of like say you've been through rain or a storm of some sort, and like coming out on the other side of it and just the sun coming out again, and happiness, happiness from almost kind of like a gratitude from stuff that has gone on before, and realizing how everything is turning out well, everything is turning out the way it's I want to say there's a message coming through about like everything turning out the way it was always going to turn out. But like sometimes when you're in the middle of a storm, you don't really see the other side of it. You don't really see the sun coming out from the other side of it. But once you've gone through it and the sun does come out, you're like, oh, now I see how the whole thing worked out. And having that kind of realization that no matter where you are on your path, there is going to be sun at the end of it. There is going to be happiness and joy at the end of it. For some of you who are maybe in the midst of some project or something like that, trying to figure out a problem, I'm kind of seeing this creativity and lightheartedness, this fun thing, and then finding the solution. The solution is gonna come, and it's gonna be even better than if you had not gone through that period of working it out, figuring it out. That in the middle of a creative project, sometimes you kind of hit this point. It's like we don't know the answer yet, but we're just trying different, looking at it from different angles and stuff like that. And in the midst of looking from those different angles, sometimes it might feel difficult, right? Because you're like, oh, I just know there's an answer, but I don't know what it is yet. But it's like I'm just seeing this shift from that kind of creative mind melding of different people coming together with different ideas. And then here's the solution, the old sunny day. Yeah. Okay, and then we have Tarot of the Magical Forest. I'm feeling a lot of peacefulness, a lot of I'm not even sensing any kind of anxiety really at all of any kind. It's just maybe a little bit of like I was saying, how if you're in the middle of something, you're trying to work something out in your mind, that mental buzzing of figuring out an issue or figuring out a solution to something. But I don't see that. I don't see a lot of resistance in that, and I don't see a lot of like I don't really sense any kind of bad negativity within that state of, like, during that period of time when you're trying to figure something out. It's not that bad. You're not that stressed out about it. Like, maybe a little bit of not knowing the answer yet, but this is coming fast. So yeah. Okay. Six of Cups, how cute. Two of Pentacles. So this might be that state right here where we were just talking about figuring out a solution in the middle of it, kind of like juggling something, trying to balance out, trying to figure something out. I'm kind of seeing that over here. But I'm not really sensing any kind of bad feeling in that, or like being too stressed out about it. Ten of Swords. This is the ending of something. This is kind of like a surrendering, a giving up of something. So over here in the Six of Cups talks about, usually, traditionally, it talks about like pastime, childhood, returning to the soul, kind of like reconnecting, reharmonizing with the soul and stuff like that. But over here, I'm kind of seeing maybe somebody giving you something. Maybe if we're talking about this this question that you have, or this project that you're working on, whatever this is, where there's like something that you're seeking an answer to, seeking a solution to, that perhaps somebody's going to give you the answer to it. Maybe you'll come across somebody that will have the answer for you. And since this is a pastime energy, maybe someone that you already know, you're gonna work with them and come up with a solution to something. But I see a lot of like joy energy in this. This is all like there's also like a reunion energy to this. Coming together, having a good time. So if we're not talking about solving a problem, we're just talking about creativity. And there's also like a party kind of atmosphere to this, that this could, maybe there's a reunion of some sort. There's a playfulness that you can come together with somebody that you already know from the past. I feel like this is an acquaintance, though. I don't feel like it's somebody that you know very well, but that there could be maybe you go to a party or something like that, and you see somebody that you kind of sort of already know, like a friend's friend, an acquaintance of some sort, and then you have a lot of fun together. Yeah, it's just a very light-hearted message. This one has more, the Two of Pentacles has more of like a work kind of vibe. So seen together with this, it could be that about like coming up with a solution to something, a creative solution to something, but still working it out. But I'm not seeing a lot of stress in this at all. Like in this whole message, in this orange, I'm not seeing a lot of stress in this at all. This is an interesting image because it doesn't necessarily seem to like vibe with that peacefulness. I mean, well, there's a sort of peace to surrendering. There's a sort of peace to like the ending of something. But usually when you have like 10 swords going into your back, and you're lying there kind of like, I can't do anything about it anymore. That doesn't seem like a pleasant image, but I'm actually not even really getting like a bad feeling from this, interestingly. It just seems like if there's like a go, 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 go kind of energy, and this is just like the stopping of it. It's like, stop. That's kind of what I'm getting. Let's see if more information comes through the other cards. That's funny. Okay, we have Tarot Nova. It could be. The Two of Pentacles sometimes talks about like you're juggling, right? Like two different things. So maybe if you work two different jobs or something like that, and you're balancing work, or maybe you have like work life, home life, that you're balancing multiple things. That's what this talks about. And maybe this just talks about like stopping that, pausing on it for a while, or like maybe it's possible for maybe some of you, if you're doing two things, that maybe you finally decide to pick one and you stop the other one, so that you stop the juggling, you stop the going back and forth, and you make a decision and you pick one, or one of them takes off, so then you don't have to do the other one anymore. So I'm kind of seeing that it's still like the overall energy of the message is very pleasant. So I'm not sensing anything negative or bad coming out of this. It's all good, because even if you like say if you do have two jobs, that and you continue this balancing of your life, that this could continue stress-free. It just depends on how you look at it, right? So there's this kind of like surrendering, giving up of struggle, giving up of like life being hard, like that kind of belief, that kind of mentality about life being hard. And I feel like there can be joy in anything. Like however your life is like right now, and you're going through this kind of balancing of your life, juggling of your life, that even that can be playful, even that can be creative. There's like a way of doing things where you're enjoying it. And I feel like I kind of feel like that's what this is, like the giving up of the struggle. Instead of seeing life as being hard, now you're like, yeah, my life is the way it is right now, and it's good. I can make it good. I can view it from the point of view where things are happy, and I can be playful about every part of my life, and just like giving up the struggle, giving up that view of looking at it like there's something wrong with my life, or like that or that something is hard or something like that. Finding peace anywhere that you are. Okay. Tarot Nova, message from universe. So this popped out. Knight of Wands. It popped out like with the side up, and when I flipped it to look at it, it was like this. So I'm not sure if this is supposed to be in reverse or not, but I'm just going to keep it upright for right now. But interestingly, notice this. We have three little winged guys. I think they're butterflies here. And then we have three little winged birdies over here. That's interesting. I wonder if that's going to say anything. So you have the Knight of Wands. That talks about forward movement, being passionate about something. moving forward with an idea, right? So say you come up with an idea with something right here, you're moving forward with it, and then you have people working with you, following you on it, on that idea, being really happy with your solution, with the direction that you're going in. I see like the horse looks really happy. Look at that horse. Oh, and the horse and this general picture is orangey, kind of like the color of the message. You know what I'm hearing from universe? End of struggle. They're repeating it over and over in my head, and I'm looking at these two pictures. End of struggle. And looking at this like being past time, it's like the struggle is in the past. It's the end of it now. Now this is the present time energy of like things turning up sunny and dancing through life. That's nice. That's a nice message. It's almost like we were talking about somebody giving you something. I feel like this is universe giving to you. And you finally being in that place of I'm not struggling anymore, so now I'm starting to receive. Like you're opening up your energy instead of, because when you're struggling, you close up your energy, right? And it's like having your hands closed, whereas when you stop struggling and you just like open up your hand, now you can receive. Now you can receive from the universe, and the universe can give to you. And so maybe that's why the Knight of Wands came out in the way that it did, where it was, you don't know what it is. And then when you flip it over, and it's like, then you don't know whether this is a forward movement or not a forward movement. Is it upright? Is it reversed, right? Are you going, is the energy going and flowing, or is it not going, right? There's that difference. When you're struggling, it's not going. And then when you stop struggling and you go with this energy, then you move forward. So I feel like there's something like that that's going on, where maybe at some point during either in the near future, or it's happening right now, or like within the month or so, that there's something that's going to happen in your space where your energy goes from not flowing because you're struggling to you stopping, you surrendering, to allowing the universe to give to you. And then this energy flows in, and then it turns the card around, where now you're moving forward. Now you're receiving the inspiration. Now things are moving forward with you, and the world is moving with you. Like these little butterflies, there's change happening, right? The world is moving with you. The universe is moving with you. But it's kind of like you have to make the decision to join the universe. You have to join up with the universe and decide to open your hands and receive, right? I also feel like for some of you that this process has been going on for a while, where you're gradually raising your vibrations, where this is happening so naturally that it almost feels like you're not doing anything to make it happen. It's kind of like you're just harmonizing with what's coming to you, and that the Oh Sunny Day feels so natural as your next step, to just for the universe to give to you, for you to receive it, for it to come in, that you almost feel like, but I didn't do anything. I'm just doing the best you can, right? Doing the best you can with what you have. And all of a sudden, all this good energy comes in, all this good luck comes in, and the universe is giving to you in all different ways. And it might manifest into actual people giving you actual things, or it just might feel like, oh, after the rainstorm, now the sun has come out, and that's such that's nature, right? That is such a natural thing for that cycle to end, and then a new cycle to begin, and for this fresh new energy to come in, that it almost feels like you don't even know whether you can take credit for it, because it's like, I didn't do anything. I'm just living my life. But then things took a better turn, But universe is saying that you did do it, but because it happened over a span of time, that you're raising your vibration, that you don't notice that you're actually the one that's taking the lead. You're actually the one who shifting your energy little by little to get to this point. And that's why it's like the energy that I'm feeling is so peaceful. It's a quiet happiness. It's a quiet joy. It's not like that real energy where you're taking something, you're taking the lead, and you're taking something by not really by force, but like it doesn't feel like there's a fast moving energy so much that it's like I'm taking control of the situation. Yeah, kind of like that. Like I'm taking control of the situation, and therefore here's the happy outcome. It's like a gradual, slow moving, like a very peaceful thing that you notice it, but it's like, I'm enjoying this. That kind of a thing. It's like it's like, yeah, it's a very peaceful kind of slower moving energy, but it's like it's pleasant. Yeah, that's it. It's pleasant. But they're saying, of course, you can take credit for it, even though it almost feels like you're not the one who's suddenly making a decision about something and suddenly changing the course of your life. It's like a gradual, good energy coming in. But that's still you. That's still you doing it. Okay. Oh, Five of Cups. So we're talking about a rain. Talking about the rain and the sun that comes after it. Oh, wow. So here's another picture of balance, like over here with the Two of Pentacles. This balancing of, oh, this is interesting. We're talking about the speed of things, right? Here's a little turtle and here's a little rabbit, tortoise and the hare. And it's like balance of the fast and slow, balance of the sun and the moon. But I'm really seeing balance of emotions. And how we were talking about the rain. And even in the oh sunny day, there's like an umbrella there, right? So when I was going through that explanation about like taking credit, I feel like universe wants you to know they were kind of like explaining and kind of over explaining that you can take credit for it, because even if something happens in a way where it's not obvious, that it was like, oh, I made this change and therefore it changed for the better, like it wasn't sudden like that, it wasn't obvious like that, like even if it happened over a period of time, a course of time, and then things were gradually getting better, and now you're gradually feeling better and better, and your life is working out. That they want you to take credit for it, because then you realize you have control over everything that occurs. You have control over all of your manifestations. And it's important to note in this Five of Cups talks about like usually emotions and like being pessimistic about something, right? It's like, oh, all the rain's pouring on you. But notice he has his hands on the cup. He's pouring it. He has his hand on the one cup, and he's also pouring it downwards instead of holding it up. So it's like you have control. I feel like this is talking about like you have control over your emotion. You have control over, this is like a forward moving energy or like a stopping, not a forward moving energy, right? You have control over when this Knight of Wands turns right side up and you get to follow your passion. And it's, and especially since I'm reading this right here as the balance of the water, right? The balance of the emotion here, the pace of how fast and slow. This is like one foot on the accelerator when you're driving a car, right? One foot on the gas, one foot on the brake. And it's like, I mean, you shouldn't really drive like that if you want the car to go smoothly, because you don't want your foot on pressing on both at the same time, right? But that you have control over how fast or slow something happens in your life, right? And to get like to get like a really smooth ride where you're not it's not jerky, right? Where it's like, oh, you're going forward, now you're stopping. You're going forward, now you're stopping. That's a little bit more of a dramatic kind of life. But if you can get like a good even pace going where you're not moving faster than you're comfortable with, but you're not moving so slow that nothing's happening, right? It's like you have control over that through your emotions, through how much you're experiencing stress, how much you're deciding to look on the positive side of things, right? Or you look on the sunny day, how much you're allowing in the creativity and the fun in life, how much when you come upon other people, are you seeing them as friends and allies or as foes, enemies, right? Like, if you can view the world as on your side, the world will follow you. The world will come along with you on any venture that you want to take. And you have control over that, how you see everything. Okay? I really feel like there's this kind of like the ending of a phase and the beginning of a new phase over, again, over a course of time, not like immediate, but where you're changing the way you view things, where you're beginning to really raise your energy to that place where now you look at everything with the sunny glasses, with that real positive outlook, where your expectation, your default mode is not with cynicism, right? Your default mode is now open heart, open mind when something comes in. And that makes such a difference in terms of how you approach people and how other people approach you, and how you interact with everything and everybody in the world, depending on what your default mode is set to, right? And you have it set to, oh, sunny day, like you have an expectation when you wake up in the morning that it's going to be a great day. It's and that the universe is giving to you, and that people are kind. It's like when you stop the struggle of life, that everybody is always balancing something in life. Every part of your life, sometimes you'll go through cycles of life being easy and flowing to you, and then sometimes there'll be times where you have questions about things and you don't know, and embracing those I don't know moments, instead of struggling through them. You're kind of like, okay, I don't know the answer to this, but I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna stop, and then I'm just gonna allow the universe to give me the answer when I'm ready for it. And instead of like, oh, I don't know, and being sad about you don't know, right? That you just stop. Yeah, I'm stopping the struggle. I'm stopping. I'm not flailing anymore. I'm just allowing the answers to come when they come, and I'm opening myself to it. And when you do that, actually it comes really fast. And it's like, I feel like this temperance talk, which talks about balance, right? I feel like you're finding your footing, you're finding how fast to go in your life, where things, you don't get overwhelmed, and but it's moving at a pretty good pace for you to move on and then you have control over your emotions now, to kind of adjust the pace that you're comfortable with, that still gives you forward movement. This is really nice. This is really, really nice. Okay. The next one, the Mediumship Training Deck. I kind of felt like when I was getting the decks that universe really wanted to say something with they're like, we have something to say with the Mediumship Training Deck. Okay. Impression versus expression. Oh. Letting yourself express, coming out of that box. There's something about like when you let out your idea, that it still can change, it still can morph into something. So say you're at like a team meeting, right? Where everybody's giving out their ideas and you have this funky idea that's kind of like, I don't know how it's going to take shape. I don't know how it's going to play out, but here's something funky that's coming out of my mind, and you share it with the group, right? Like within the meeting, it can get molded and shaped into something that's workable. But when it first comes out of your mouth, when it first comes out of your mind, you might not, it just might be this kind of weird thing where it's like, I don't know how this makes sense in whatever we're trying to solve, but here's something, and you throw it out. And then so within that meeting with your group, with your team, you kind of shape it, and you kind of like play around with the idea, and then you make, and together you make it into something that's workable. You make it into this fantastic idea, like, oh yeah. So it's kind of like everybody adds their input into it, but that however it comes out of the box, it doesn't have to stay in that particular form, that you can change it and morph it into something that's workable. So there's that message that's coming out. So kind of like if you buy something, you get a tool, or you get some kind of oh, so here's a perfect example. So I bought this deck right here, the Arboridium. Let me show it to you. I bought this deck recently, and I bought it for the beautiful pictures, and some of the words in it are different from, because that's what I was looking for. I was looking for something with nice pictures that I can read, right? Because I like to read pictures, and that have words that are a little bit different from the cards that I already have, so that in my communication with spirit, then they can use all the different decks together, like how I usually read, to help communicate to me what their message is, right? So I didn't want to buy a deck that had the same messages again and again, because then, like the same messages would come out. So I thought, well, this one's different enough where like the pictures are different, and I can read in the background, I can read, the words and stuff. But what happened was like, so I received the deck, and I looked through it, it came with a beautiful book. I'll show you the book. It came with a beautiful book. It's got stories in it for each card, and look how pretty that is, like full color pictures, and it has, the interesting thing is, like, these people who made this deck, they're so creative with it. They came up with a whole new vocabulary that you kind of have to, you can kind of tell what it's saying just by context, but it uses different vocabulary, and it's in story format. So each card, there's a story that goes with it. But what happened was, like, when I was trying to play with the cards and read the cards using their definition of what's in the book, I couldn't, like, the energy of the creators of the card is so strong in this deck that it didn't work for me in a way where, like, I didn't their way of explaining things and their philosophies about life and their beliefs about things didn't go with mine. Like, I have a more open attitude about certain things. Well, I shouldn't say I'm more open and they're not. I'm saying, like the way they view life is different from mine. Let's just say it like that, because it's not true that we're both open. They're open, but in different ways, right? But it just their philosophies about life didn't really mesh with mine, and so I'm like, oh, how am I going to make this work? Because I really like the artwork in this deck. Like, it's so pretty, right? And I really want it to like it, and I really want it to work for me. And so I was asking universe, like, well, what do I do? Look at that, so cool. And so I started, like, just incorporating it into some of my readings, and then eventually, after a couple of days, like, I had to sit with it, and I had to play with it and kind of, like, change out the energy in the deck, right? So that it's more for me, so that it works for me, rather than having the energy of just the creators in it, that it has my energy in it, and that it has, like, my spirit's energy in it, so that me and my spirit can communicate. Because it's not about me creating with these people who made the deck. It's about me creating with my own spirit, my own soul, right? With my universe team. And I needed to be able to use these in order for universe to help me pick out cards, and for me to be able to understand what they're saying in the pictures and in the words, right? And so eventually what happened was, like, it started speaking to me, where I'm looking at the pictures and it's not necessarily what the book says the card means, which happens with every deck. With every deck that I've received, it had to be like that, where I look at something and it talks to me in a certain way, the pictures talk to me in a certain way, but it's not necessarily what the creator of the deck meant for that card to mean. And so with this one, it just took a little bit longer for that to happen. But once it did, though, then I was like, oh, okay, I can definitely work with this. And then sometimes, then I'll get, say, let me find one. I'll get one of their words that isn't, like, English, like this one, and it doesn't make sense to me. I'll be like, what does that mean? And I'll look at that, and this actually means exactly what it looks like. It's a board game, but Fritsch is one of their words for their from their story. But then I would go into the book and read through their little story about what Fritsch means, and it'll make sense. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because I feel like that's exactly what this is. So you have an idea, or you buy something and it comes in a certain form, and you get to shape it and mold it to make it work for you. You don't have to use it exactly the way it's meant to be used, or like other people meant for it to be used. You can add to it, or you can do something with it in order to make it work for you. So I feel like there's a message about that in this card right here. And so now I'm going to read the back of this, and the back of this, how the creator of this deck, the message is not what I just said. And so that exactly exemplifies what I just said about, like, however it comes to you, you make it mean what you think it means, or you want it to mean, or what it's saying to you, versus what somebody says what it means. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. There are multiple ways that we receive information from spirit. It could be in words, images, or feelings, but how we relay or express the information back to the recipient must be carried out with due consideration and utmost care and sensitivity. Many mediums are taught that you should always give what you get when delivering a message. In a sense, that's true. But as mediums, we must honor that many people look to us to assist them with their grief and are often still distraught, no matter how much time has passed since their loss. Always remember that while we must be open to any spiritual impression, we are responsible for conveying a sensitive expression. People pass over to the spirit world in a variety of ways, from natural causes, unexpected illnesses, or other circumstances. When you give off information, it's a delicate process. For example, if you're impressed with a scene of someone's passing, then you must be sensitive and discerning when you express the information to the sitter. It's possible they could be very emotional as they're still going through the bereavement process. They don't need to relive every detail of the experience again. Communicating that you're aware of a type of passing and, if possible, which area of their body was affected, as well as their relationship to the sitter, is often enough evidence for the recipient. Be kind and compassionate, as having an inherent sensitive nature is always a great asset for any medium to possess. So this is a very specific message for anybody who's doing this kind of mediumship, where you're actually talking to somebody about somebody who's in spirit form, right? And if you see information that might be difficult for the person that you're reading for, like for them to receive that information, just take care that you're sensitive about how that other person, the receiver of the information, might feel when you're describing things during a reading. So that's a very, very specific message for somebody who might be doing that, okay? And this will not apply to everybody who's watching this message. But I feel like because it came out and that universe is very specific about there being an important message coming from this deck, that maybe somebody very, very specific who's this message is for, like, take note of this, of how you, when you're doing readings, the information that comes through to you, like, be delicate, be gentle about how you relay information. That's what this card is about for whoever this is for, okay? It's a very specific message. Okay, and I think there was another one from this deck. Also, another message that I'm getting from that card is impression versus expression. I feel like there might also be a difference between how how sometimes when you're expressing yourself and how someone receives you. So kind of like, if somebody misunderstands either something that you say or some characteristic of you as a person when they're looking at you, like they think you're a certain way, but that's not your intention, or that's not who you really are. There's something about that in here, in how you're expressing yourself or you're presenting yourself, and how someone looks upon you and receives that information might be different. And it might take a little, like we were talking about molding and shaping what comes out of you, right? It might take a little bit more of a conversation, a bit more of getting to know each other in order for them to get a more accurate impression of who you are. So an example would be, say you meet someone at a party, and so they don't really know you, they just see you, right? And they might get an idea about what you're like. It might take like more than a 10-minute conversation in order for them to really understand what you're like, versus the initial impression of that they received from you, right? There's something like that's going on here. It's similar to that idea where we were talking about if you have an idea or something that you present, and then it's the coming together with your team in order to mold it, to shape it into something that works. It's similar in the sense that whatever you're expressing, you it takes that communication between the two parties in order for there to be like an accuracy that in terms of the information that goes across. So sometimes, like, say if you're at a party and you come across shy or introverted in some way, you come across just kind of like someone who doesn't isn't like overly expressive, or like, yeah, you just kind of give off this vibe, right? And somebody talks to you, they might have ideas of what they think a person like that is like, and then once they talk to you, it might take a little bit more for them to really understand, like, oh, you're not really shy, you're thinking about something, you're internal, like maybe you are introverted in that way, where you're thinking, right, you're living more internally than externally, but you're not really like a shy person, like you're afraid, there's no anxiety there, it's just that you're thinking about something, and so it's not like being outwardly expressed, but that person would need to talk to you in order to, see, in order to understand like what you're really like and what's really going on inside your head, right? There's something like that that's going on here, where it takes that kind of communication to really understand something. Okay. The breath. I'm getting the message about like being in the moment and being really able to, like, going back to that calm energy that we were talking about, right? That kind of peacefulness, like being able to be in the moment and enjoy the kind of nothingness of just being, of just existing. Being at that point where it's like, oh, there's pleasure to be experienced in just sitting still and just being. Awareness of the breath is the key to the continual movement of life and your connection with spirit. Being mindful of your breath helps you to remain in the present, bring clarity of thought, tolerance, and patience. It can benefit your overall well-being and help your mediumship development. In mediumship, your breath is a powerful tool. It's important to remain aware of your breath at all times to preserve and sustain a strong and clear link with spirit. A great practice to enhance your mediumship is to use a form of breathing meditation. Take a few moments now to practice the simple exercise. Sit somewhere comfortably and follow each breath through your body. With each in-breath, let it fill your abdomen and notice how it moves through the essence of your being. With each out-breath, notice the relaxation of your body and mind. You can use the power of breath to initiate and deepen your link with spirit. Being aware of the rhythm of your breathing amplifies the link. As you pay attention to how you're breathing, be mindful to inhale and exhale slowly and deeply. This practice is a form of quieting the mind. It silences the mind chatter and creates a clear, unobstructed link. Practice these breathing techniques as they will not only make you a stronger medium, but also a healthier one. So you don't have to be practicing or studying mediumship. The breath works for everyone in the same way, where it calms your mind, it slows down everything, and it brings you to the present moment, but it also, like, it connects you with your spirit, so that all the chatter, like if we're talking about like stopping the struggle, the breath would really help with that. And being able to just allow yourself to link up with your spirit and be able to see your life through the eyes of spirit from that higher perspective, right? And allowing all the good things to come in. So this is good for everybody. But this energy right here, where the stillness, that kind of peacefulness, like matches so perfectly with this orange, with what I was talking about the peacefulness that I'm feeling here in this message today. I feel that in this peacefulness, in the stillness of the mind, like you're also receiving ideas from universe, receiving ideas from your spirit. Because I'm just seeing like this box opening up and this bird just like flying through into your mind, right? Okay, next one. Whispers of love. So there's a bunch of different messages coming through with today's message. Yeah, and I'm reading for a group, so some messages might resonate with some people and not others, right? And so just kind of, and take note that I'm reading energies, so the examples that I give might not be specific to your situation, and you kind of have to oh, you know what? Like what I was saying, like what I'm, the stuff that I'm throwing out there, you kind of have to mold it and shape it to see how it fits you in your life. How perfect is that? That comes out, and that's exactly how these readings work. And also, like, if cards come out and you see something in there that I don't verbally point out and talk about, that's still a message from universe directly to you, even if like me as the person who's like the middle person, the middleman, right, who's describing the information that's coming through, I might not receive it and you might receive it directly. So if something in here makes sense to you that I don't talk about, that's a message from universe directly to you. Because sometimes, like with a group of people looking at something might mean something just specifically to you, and that other people might not know about it. It might be a personal thing just for you, right? Choose love. You always have choice. Make yours with love. We were talking about you have control over how you see things, how you receive things, what, like whether you see something where your default is set to being open-hearted and open-minded, and seeing the world with kindness, right? Or seeing the world with cynicism, and you get to choose how you want to look at things, how you receive the world, in order to adjust like how dramatic you want your life to be, or how peaceful and calm you want your life to be, how fast you want to go, how slow you want to go, whether the ride is jerky or smooth. Like, you get to choose how you want things to come to you, how you want to receive things, how you choose to look at things, how you choose to express yourself, right? You get to choose. And I feel like a lot of you are choosing love. You're at that turning point, or maybe you've already chosen love, and you're living your life with love. that there's an awareness that's coming through where it's like, oh, my life is getting better. Things are getting better. Okay, last one is from Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection. It's a conscious choice I'm seeing from here. It's a conscious choice. It's not about something happening, you observing it and just reacting to it. It's about you making the conscious decision to choose love in regards to every situation. And in shifting your energy, right? You have control over how this plays out. Prepare to be astounded. So, with this shift of energy and how you're seeing things in life now, there's so much good stuff coming for you. There's so much good stuff coming for you. Send them love, wish them peace, see them happy, everyone, always, forever. And prepare to be astounded, the universe. P.S. Oh man, and will you ever become a big time manifester? I love it. I love it. So overall, yeah, the general message is there's this shift that's happening. Maybe it's been happening over a period of time, but it feels good, you guys. It's feeling good. There's a good, just peaceful, just feeling really, really good. Oh, another thing about the choosing love. If you're the person on the receiving end of this, somebody's expressing themselves and you're receiving from them, how you choose to receive their information, it's like you have a choice over that too. It's not just about how somebody is expressing themselves, it's about how you're choosing to receive from them. So going back to that party scenario, you meet somebody, right? So say you have an impression of somebody and they're looking a certain way to you, and you get to pull out of them the goodness or the badness of who they are, because everybody's like a spectrum of characteristics, right? You have your good stuff and your bad stuff, right? Everybody has that. And when you look at somebody across the room, wherever your default is set at when you look at other people, are you seeing them with kindness or are you seeing them with a critical eye, right? That like you have expectations about how mean people are or how nice people are, right? So then when you cross the room to talk to them, or if they cross the room to talk to you, wherever you're coming from, however you're choosing to receive, right? Are you choosing with love, right? Have you ever met somebody that somebody else also knows, and then you meet them and you have a certain impression of them, but then the other person, your friend, describes that person in a completely different way, and you're like, oh, that wasn't the experience I had with this person. This person was like really nice to me, and then your friend will be like, no, he's a total blah blah blah. Has that ever happened to you where it's like people have different impressions of the same person, and it's like, but how that person comes across to you depends on a large part on how you're receiving. Are you choosing to receive with love? Are you choosing to look with love, right? And it's like when you do that, when you always choose to look with love at people, at situations, things, like everything in the universe. Prepare to be astounded, because how you receive them, it depends on where your starting point is. Like where are you coming from? How are you choosing to look at the world? And if you're choosing with love, you're choosing to see everything with love, all sorts of good stuff. They're going to show you, people are going to show you all their good parts, and you'll only experience their good parts. Yep, that's big. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.